Okay, but would you change anything if players want to?
You know what that face is, guys? I'm glad to see him make this face. This is the face of someone that has like genuinely put the work in and is confident that it's going to be dope, right? Yo, what's going on, guys? Thanks for joining me. Today, we are digging into Dying Light 2. It releases in just a week, and I'm really excited for this release, and I'm going to be doing a bunch of content on it. So if you're new to the channel and you're a fan of Dying Light, make sure to hit that subscribe and bell button below and join me for all my future content. I was going to do a traditional trailer reaction today, but Techland has released the game to reviewers who got permission to put out a bunch of gameplay footage. I'm sure you've already seen that if you've been digging around trying to get an idea of what this game is going to look like before it launches. So today I thought, let's do something a little bit different and watch one of the developer interviews where they bring in one of the lead designers and talk about a certain element of the game. And today they're talking to Timon, I think is how you say it, who's the lead game designer for the game, and the topic they're covering is parkour. And I want to be honest with you guys before we jump into it. I've actually been really concerned about this game. It's had multiple delays. The scope of the project was really big and quite different from the original Dying Light. Bigger world, a lot more, story elements that are impacted by the decisions that you make. And also, the marketing that they've been putting out has just been pretty whack. So I scoured their YouTube channel and watched all of the previous developer interviews just to get an idea of where I should set my expectations with this game. I loved the first one. This one I've been really concerned about, but I feel a lot more confident that it's going to be a good game based on what I've seen so far. And this one that we're about to watch, I think is going to be pretty cool. It's about one of my favorite aspects of the game. And from what I've heard, there's not going to be any vehicles or firearms in the game. So getting around the world and getting into combat is going to rely way more on the parkour being fun and efficient and badass. So I thought this would be a great one to watch with you guys. So let's get it on. All right, you guys, Dying Light 2. Let's go.
Hi everyone, welcome to the next episode of Dying to Know More. Today we will be talking about a very unique topic for the Dying Light franchise, which is parkour. I hope that my next guest will tell us some juicy details about parkour in Dying Light 2 3 Human. Hello Timon.
Hello everyone. Hi Paulina.
So we've already said how important it is to us to deliver very realistic parkour, but how do you achieve that in a video game?
So yes, that was the core goal, to create a video game, a parkour video game, which is as close to real-life parkour as possible. So we have an adaptation of skills and moves that people who practice this real-life sport do. Mm-hmm. And we have worked with David Bell, the father of parkour, and we have used his experience, his insights, his feedback to create something that I hope looks very well on the screen, very realistic.
Ooh.
But please keep in mind that this is a video
Dope.
game, so we had to change some things for the sake of experience so everyone can get fun out of it.
Okay, let's pause it here first, you guys. And wow, that is just incredible that they brought David Bell in here. If you're not familiar with David Bell, yeah, he's the founder of parkour, and he's from Europe. And I looked into him way back in the day when parkour first got popular and Dying Light 1 came out. And he comes from like this family of stuntmen. His father mentored him in how to do it. So, wow, that's so cool. They brought him in for consultation. And I can't tell if this is actually him in the suit doing the moves, but this is so cool how they're like, doing an A/B. They brought in parkour stuntmen to do the moves so they could create the animations that they're using in the game. And the A/B that they're doing here is super dope. Anyway, check out David Bell, and this is very cool. Let's go.
So about these changes, what is the difference between real life parkour and the parkour in the game?
Well, there are some differences, definitely, but let me start with this one, the most important one. So when you do parkour in real life, you have your normal human field of view. And you see in front of you, like a huge distance, you see on your sides. So you process a lot of information about your surroundings. You are also fully aware of your body, of its limitations. So you combine those informations to decide what you want to do next. What's your next step?
And in the game?
Well, in the game is a little different because in the game, first of all, you are limited to what you see on the screen. So the field of view is different. You only see in front of you. And also your body awareness is not on the same level. So we had to do something to help players a little bit, to give them a little handicap. First of all, when you run, when you parkour in the game, you need that extra time to make the correct decision what you want to do next. And this is the main reason why some of the animations in our game last a little longer in the final moments of their sequence. This is also the reason why Aiden, when he jumps, he stays in the air a little bit longer than a normal person would do. But this was very, very necessary for us, and this is very important for the experience because without it, it would be very hard to play.
Okay, let's pause it here. And I mean, I think it's good that they're focused on not doing like a parkour sim here. Like, Dying Light is a campy zombie slaying game. Could you imagine if they like tried to make it extremely real? And also they had that clip of you wall running, and that's absolutely new. You couldn't do that in Dying Light 1. So that's awesome. That's one thing that I felt like they missed out on in the first game, and the DLC expansions that they did, where they could have gone way farther with the parkour. I really liked that game Mirror's Edge that came out quite a long time ago, and that game really focused on parkour, and they had a lot of cool moves that you could do to both get around and while you were in combat. So anyway, the wall jumping looks cool. And I think it's good that they're keeping it casual. Nobody wants like to actually have your character get tired. All right.
And to be honest, even hard to watch on the screen.
Hard to watch on the screen, but why?
Exactly, I said that. And simply speaking, and I will be brutal here, you could feel dizzy and you could feel motion sickness. And we had this issue with a small faction of our players from Dying Light 1. So we have doubled up on methods to make sure the game will be comfortable to play for everyone.
Okay, let's stop it here too. That's a great point. Dying Light 1 actually had a few things in it that did make me, it didn't make me sick. Like, I didn't get motion sick from it, but it did mess with me a little bit. Like, when you would go from a walk to a sprint, your field of view would kind of shrink down in the first game, and I hated that. I really hope they get rid of that. They also had a lot of like post-processing effects on the screen that I wasn't a big fan of, and you could turn off motion blur and depth of field and what's that other horrible thing? Chromatic aberration. That's what it is. You could turn that off as well. I'm glad that they're keeping this in focus around the parkour design. I think it's just going to make the experience way better, especially if the parkour is, has so much more emphasis on you doing it in the game to get around and in combat.
Okay, so everyone can feel like a superhuman.
Superhuman is maybe too much of a word, more like an athlete, because Aiden is just like that. So I will get a little nerdy here. So Aiden in the game
Superhuman's a pretty good word.
Of a little less than 7 meters per second, which is about 23 kilometers
per hour.
Wait.
What did he just say? Let's back this up real quick.
I will get a little nerdy here. So Aiden in the game runs at the speed of a little less than 7 meters per second, which is about 23 kilometers per hour, which is about 14 miles per hour. So sprinters do that numbers.
Okay, so he runs like a normal person,
Yes.
but jumps higher.
Dope.
But what about gravity?
Okay, so that's actually very interesting, nerdy a little bit too, and I think this may surprise you. So, of course, we simulate a lot of physics in Dying Light to stay human, and we also use a lot of physics variables. For example, the gravity. And the gravity in Dying Light 2 is set to exactly 9.8 meter per second, which is...
Standard gravity on Earth.
Exactly, that's that. And the funny thing is that in Dying Light 1 and Dead Island, the value was about twice as big. So that was unrealistic. But when you are used to the previous game, when you watch the trailers or gameplays on the internet, you might think that something is off. But I hope that when you start playing the game, you will feel that Aiden's moves feel more natural and more realistic this way.
Okay, let's pause it here. And, I remember that from Dying Light 1, where, like, if you would jump off of a building or any tower, anywhere that was really at high elevation, it kind of felt like you were getting sucked down extra fast. There was probably a good reason for them to do that, but it definitely wasn't a real feeling. It felt like, yeah, I jumped off this tower and got sucked down into this pile of blue garbage bags in a matter of a second. I actually think that it's cool that they're focusing on putting more accurate physics in the game. The only thing I hope is that they don't put a freaking stamina bar in the game. I don't want to be getting winded every 5 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's keep going.
Okay, so physics and numbers aside.
I
am very curious. What is the most unrealistic thing that Aiden can do?
Well, unrealistic, maybe not. We are friends with the story team, the guys that do those crazy parkour videos on YouTube. And once they told us that parkour in Dying Light 2 is basically parkour on steroids. So it's more like it. So for example, Aiden can do something like a double jump. Well, it's not like a real double jump that he jumps twice in the air, but if there's something in the air he can spring off, then he can do that. Maybe it's impossible to do in real life, maybe it's extremely difficult in real life, but it's fun to do and it's very useful in gameplay. So we have decided to keep it. And there are a couple of other moves which we kept for the same reason.
All right, let's stop it here and just say, like, yeah, I'm glad that they're trying to find a nice balance between it being real and immersive and it being cool and fun, right? Like, like I just said, I hate it. Who doesn't hate it in games where you have to run from one place to another and you've got a stupid stamina bar, and every 15 yards your character's panting and you slow down and you got to wait until your stamina bar gets full again before you can sprint. You want it to be fluid, especially in a game like this where you can just run and slide and jump over and climb up and, spin around. And, so I like the balance that they're going for here.
In one of the previous episodes of Dying to Know More, I spoke to Agata Sukua.
Okay.
And we talked about customization. So tell me, what can we customize when it comes to parkour?
There are some things you can customize, mostly things that help you when you parkour. So for example, you can deactivate the UI information about your parkour combos, or maybe you can deactivate the magnetic field of the amortizers that we have in our game, or you can invert the controls for the paragliders, things like that.
Difficulty level?
So with difficulty modes, we don't change parkour much because parkour was designed to be, as they say, easy to learn and hard to master. So I believe every player will be able to traverse the city with ease, feeling the freedom, feeling the flow of it. But of course, if you put more time into it, you will be able to do it more effectively, pull off crazier combos and stuff. So difficulty modes don't change parkour much. Maybe small things like, for example, the damage you receive when you fall down.
Okay, but would you change anything if players want to?
I hope the game is well balanced for everyone to enjoy. But of course, we can do some small improvements after the release, hearing players' feedback. But for sure, we will approach that with great carefulness because there are different players with different needs.
Okay, guys, can we just rewind it and look at his face after she asked that? Okay, hey Timon, will you take in player feedback and change shit? And this is the face that we get.
Okay, but would you change anything if players want to?
You know what that face is, guys? I'm glad to see him make this face. This is the face of someone that has like genuinely put the work in and is confident that it's going to be dope, right? Like, just look at that face. Would you change something based on player feedback? That's the face you get. It's an authentic reaction that makes me feel way more confident that they've put the effort in to make it badass. So yeah, that's good to see. All right, let's keep rolling.
Oh, so I can see that you are well prepared.
Well, we are trying to. The release of the game is right around the corner, so now it's all in players' hands. And I hope they will enjoy the kind of parkour we have prepared for them, and they will feel like real parkour masters when the game releases.
Thank you, Timon. I keep my fingers crossed for the smooth launch.
Thank you so much.
And thank you all for watching us today. And remember, we see each other in the city on February 4th.
All right, you guys, that was it. And that was definitely one of the cooler developer interviews that I've seen. I'm really glad that we got to share this one together. I hope you guys are excited about the game. I'm still tempering my the hype internally. I'm keeping it like right here in the center. But from what I've seen so far, man, you know, Techland, they're great developers. Dead Island was, you know, an awesome first step into this zombie apocalypse world. And then Dying Light was a freaking masterpiece, and the support and the expansions and everything that they've done with that game since has just been full of love and creativity. Despite the bumpy development for this game and some of the shit marketing that we've seen, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm going to be doing a full review and putting out some tips and tricks videos and some gameplay footage. So again, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe and bell button below and join me for all that future content, you guys. Give me a like if you enjoyed this video, and if you guys enjoy my shit, please share it with someone you love that you know would dig my stuff. There's going to be a link to my Patreon page right here in just a second. Be sure to check that out if you haven't. I need your support and would love to have you part of my community. We do some badass shit. Do check that out, and I will see you on the next Grim's Garage. Peace.